this meeting to order then. This is the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Cottonwood, Arizona, to be held September 3rd, 2019 at 6 p.m. If you could please take the roll.
Councilmember Althouse?
Here.
Councilmember Hulse is absent. Councilmember Howdigy?
Here.
Councilmember Matthews?
Here.
Councilmember Naren?
Here.
Vice Mayor Henry?
Here.
Mayor Alinsky?
Here. Okay, please stand and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next on the agenda is a brief summary of current events by mayor, city council, and/or city manager. The public body does not propose, discuss, deliberate, or take legal action on any matter brought up during the summary unless the specific matter is properly noticed for legal action. Do we have any council members with anything to report?
I do.
Please.
So a couple weeks ago, I attended the Arizona League of Cities and Towns conference, annual conference. Ron was there, Rudy was there. We had Parks and Recreation participate in the Showcase of Cities and Towns, which was absolute phenomenal event down there. Hez and Josh and Kayla were down there working our booth and representing Cottonwood, and it was great. Very informative. Sat in on some breakout sessions on the water issues, which we're going to be dealing with. Very informative, very good. And last week I went up to the quarterly meeting for NACOG up in Flagstaff. So.
Great. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I have one thing. On August 22nd, I attended the meeting of the Verde Valley Homeless Coalition, the general meeting, and it was very informative, as always. But one of the things that they're talking about is a fundraiser that they're having on October 5th, and they'll have it at the community clubhouse. With, I think they said the theme was going to be 50s, something about the 50s.
It's a sock hop, I believe.
I hope so.
I think it's October 6th.
Saturday,
You're right.
October 5th.
I'm so sorry. You're right. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you.
I had one fun highlight to share. Councilmember Matthews and I both attended a mortgage burning celebration. It was the first time it ever been. It was a controlled burn. I saw eyebrows raised. Sorry, there were fire extinguishers at the ready. This is a program through Verde Valley Habitat for Humanity, and one of our community members successfully completed the program and paid off the entire debt on the home and owns it free and clear. And so it was a really fun accomplishment, and I was thrilled to be there to celebrate that event. So that's all I've got.
That's great. Anyone else? No? All right, well, I don't think we talked about the Rural Policy Forum last time. No, Ron and I attended that on behalf of the City of Cottonwood, which was held in Eager this year. It's much like the League, not quite as big or well attended, but it's great. It's more for rural folks and like us. So it was a great conference, 3-day conference really, put on by Local First Arizona. But basically, we have our work cut out for us in rural Arizona. It's a little disturbing to see how quickly Maricopa County is outpacing us with job growth and everything else. So it was good to talk about our challenges with the other rural folks. Let's see, last couple weeks I did attend the Visions of the Verde. I think there are some in the room tonight that attended that as well up at the Yavapai College. It's still going on. It's an art exhibit up there. It's great. And it's sort of in conjunction with the Waterways exhibit. The Smithsonian Museum is putting on a Waterways exhibit at Camp Verde Library. I was able to attend the unveiling of that the other week, which is great. You should get out there if you haven't been able to yet. And there's also a water offset workshop that I attended. A couple staff members from Cottonwood attended that as well. We're trying to figure out ways to promote this Verde Exchange program, which is helping to offset water consumption here in the Verde Valley. So I was happy to be a part of that. Achieve 60 attended that on behalf of Yavapai College. It's a statewide program, I'm sure many know, but they're trying to get everyone, 60% of Arizonans by 2030, I believe, to have a post-secondary degree of some type. So it's a pretty, I think we're at 40% right now, so it's
It's lofty.
a lofty goal, long road to hoe, but we're we're all geared up, and Yavapai College is definitely poised to help achieve those goals. Something else I attended, which I'm really pleased to see Mr. Corbin sort of take the lead on this. Paula Woolsey was teaching a class for City of Cottonwood employees on history of wine and history of wine in Arizona in particular. So it was very illuminating. I had no idea, but I appreciate your efforts in making sure that we all in the City of Cottonwood understand the importance of wine in the area, because it does tie in with our brand and everything else. But I learned a lot, and it's curious to know that there was a time in recent history when we had more grapes here in Arizona than California did. And we're in like the perfect location here in Arizona to grow fantastic wine. And we are. And some of our wineries have won nationwide awards for the great wine that they're producing. So anyway, thanks to you, and thanks to Paula Woolsey from the Verde Valley Wine Consortium. And yeah, that's what I've been up to. So, good. Mr. Corbin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also did attend the Rural Forum. Great. If you've never been to one, I recommend it. It's in Sahuarita next year. I'm going to encourage some of my staff members to go in my place next year. It's just eye-opening to look at things from that side of the economy. And I think you hit the nail on the head when our governor brags about how well the state of Arizona is doing, and then you pull out the numbers and you realize the City of Phoenix and Maricopa County are doing head and shoulders above the rest of the country, and rural Arizona actually lags the country. It's a lot more effort needs to be put into helping the rural counties grow economically. And from that forum and from others I've talked to, I think that we're getting together a little more, collaborating a little more to make our presence known and see what we can do. So very exciting stuff. I did also attend the league. By the way, that wasn't planned, so thank you for making me go all the way over to Eager and stay in that nice hotel. It was eye-opening alone there also, but I did attend the Rural Forum, the league. Another great set of sessions, including listening to the governor and some other senior or federal, also federal politicians, but one of the issues that was talked about briefly was short-term rentals, and the comments, I don't know if you've seen in the paper recently, that maybe we've gotten it wrong, and that the governor seems to be willing now to relook at the issue. And I know that Sedona's been leading the charge, Mayor Sandy up there, working hard to get them to look at it and give some control back to local entities and let us decide what our community should look like. Very excited that at least that door has been cracked for us and for the Verde Valley. Some things that are up and coming. Oh, before we go to the meetings, I wanted to talk about this month's rotating artists. Again, thank you to our city clerk for helping handle this. But this month's artist needs glasses. Is Patsy Chapin. Her work is done on oils, acrylics, and watercolor. We'll have an artist reception is scheduled for Friday, September 6th from 4 to 7 here in the chambers. We invite folks to come on down. October 1st will be the National Night Out from 4:30 to 7 p.m. at the Cottonwood Kids Park located at 350 South 12th Street. Oh, that's right. We're kicking off the City of Cottonwood's Old Town Music, and the market starts back up this Thursday, September 5th at 5 in the Old Town Activity Park. This week it is the Bottom Line Band, so come out and listen to them. We have a significant International Softball Association tournament this weekend at Riverfront Park. Do you remember how many teams? It's a whole bunch of teams filling it up, and as you heard from our local business owners, they do well when baseball players come to town, so we're excited about that. I also found out we have 18 teams, local teams, signed up for our softball league. That's 10 more than last year. They looked at some pricing and did took care of some issues to make it more affordable, and we went from 8 teams to 18 teams already signed up. So good job to Parks and Rec. I'm sorry? Well, 28 teams this weekend. So very exciting. Thank you, Jack. And then Cottonwood Airport Commission will be meeting tomorrow at 6 p.m. here in the chambers.
Great. All right. Next up is presentations. We have one presentation to the council tonight. It's members of the Verde Valley Homeless Coalition. in with us this evening. I would like to publicly thank the council for its financial support of their organization. We have Raina Avalon, the executive director of the coalition, here with us this evening, and board president Carol Clausula, and entourage, Brian Block and Joy Mosley, all the first board. Well, isn't that correct? Yeah, all original board members, yes.
Yeah. First of all, we just really want to thank the city council for the $12,000 CDBG grant that we received last year that allowed us to be open, to open up the drop-in center and to be open for a year. It covered our rent and utilities for a year. And we are so grateful. I mean, on behalf of the board and especially those we serve.
Sure.
They all signed the back. So they really, you know, everyone is really grateful. And they're so thrilled. We're, you know, looking for a larger place, and so everyone's really happy about that. So do you want to say anything?
No, other than, I think you covered it well. Thank you very, very much for your support.
Take this up to Deb and pass it around.
Yeah, I think what we'll do maybe is have the council go down. We can all get a photo of you. But I would like to say thanks to you, Raina, and to the board as well. You guys have done a tremendous amount of work, bring a lot of passion to what you do, and you've served a lot of folks that would otherwise have been unserved in this community. So thank you for everything that you've done.
They have,
Yeah. So let's all go.
I know. Well,
It's like the old days.
I love it.
Come on, you guys gotta come over. We're trying not to short people in front.
We should get the mayor here. Make it.
I'm going to cut you out.
Okay.
You want to turn that around so they can
Yeah,
see?
oh.
We won't be able to do all that. Good, excellent. All right,
All right, thank you. Really, thank you all. Thank you. Thank you.
Two-handed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, next on the agenda is call to the public. And this portion of the agenda is set aside for the public to address the council regarding an item that is not listed on the agenda for discussion. However, the council cannot engage in discussion regarding any item that is not officially listed on the agenda for discussion and/or action. And those that speak are limited to 5 minutes. And there are forms in the back that look like this. If there's anyone here that would like to speak to the council, you can fill out a form and hand it over here, and we'll get you up to speak to the public. And is there anyone here tonight that believes that the trash hauling issue is on the agenda tonight? Because it is not, so spoiler alert, we're actually not talking trash tonight. But if there's anyone here to address the council on that issue, you're more than welcome to come up during call to the public tonight. But the actual item is not on the agenda tonight. It's going to be a week from today, so mark your calendars. No.
At the Recreation Center.
At the Recreation Center, thank you. At the Recreation Center, Cottonwood Recreation Center. Okay, moving on then. We have Dr. Rick Brady here to address the council. Are you in this evening?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Good evening. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank the council and the mayor for affording me the opportunity to speak tonight. And my name is Dr. Rick Brady. I'm a veterinarian in town. I own a practice over on Main Street. And what I wanted to talk about was the project, which I'm sure you're all aware of or have heard something about, and that's the Verde Connect project. You know, the county has obtained a grant, $25 million build grant from the United States DOT, and under the pretense that initially it was going to connect the two factions of the Yavapai Apache Nation from 260 across the Verde River. There was going to be a bridge there to unite the Tunley and the other Middle Verde section, and then a connecting road to the Middle Verde Road, and then go up over the Chalk Hills up to the Beaverhead Flat area of Cornville Road. And so that was quickly shot down by the nation. They said they really didn't want anything to do with it, and they certainly didn't want it on their land. So then the county scrambled and decided to go 6 miles west on 260, and now the plan is to put the bridge across the Verde River from 260 on Corey Drive up there by the dealership, across the river, connecting to Middle Verde Road, then going up the mesas and then to the Beaverhead Flat, Cornville Road area there. And so, and now the county would want us to believe that it's being done mainly to relieve the traffic flow into and out of Sedona. And it's going to shunt a large amount of traffic around the city of Cottonwood. And as a business owner here, it really concerns me because I think the traffic flow north and south is going to be significantly decreased, and it could affect all the businesses in the area. I depend personally on a lot of people that are traveling with their animals, and they stop and they want help, and whatever we do, sometimes they're waiting, staying overnight, they go get something to eat, they shop. So I think revenue, tax-generated revenue is going to be down potentially. And I think that that there's studies on the Verde Connect website, their traffic studies, have indicated basically that there is not going to be any significant impact on traffic flow in and out of the area of Sedona. I think it was 2025 and then 2040 or something like that. So I think that it reminds me of what happened in Camp Verde when they diverted 260 there away from the main street in the main business area of Camp Verde. A lot of businesses then went defunct, and there are still empty buildings and storefronts there that are still not occupied. So from a business owner standpoint, I think it's a bad idea. It's basically a road and bridge to nowhere, and a very circuitous route at that, what they're talking about up through the mesas. And so I think that there are obviously better ways of doing it, but if you look at the business aspects in general, they're putting this to the forefront of, the county is putting it to the forefront of what they want to do as far as road building, road construction. And they're already grossly underfunded, which means it's almost inevitable that we are going to see not only a decrease in our business and our tax generating revenues, but we're going to see more likely than not county-wide increased taxes, property taxes and sales taxes to help pay for this road and bridge to nowhere. And so that's the thing that concerns me the most. The other thing is we have to consider the environmental and the archaeological aspects of this. And that, the river is obviously a delicate riparian area that's almost inevitably going to be affected in some negative way. And in this area, that riparian habitat is home to several species of animals, probably 16 to 18, we're not sure exactly the number, but there is a lot of species in there that are on the federal endangered species list. And some of which are migratory birds between here and South America, and they nest in these areas. And then there's the archaeological. I think we need to have some respect for the ancient people that were here and try to preserve our Western culture and our Western lifestyle in some form. And I think that it would be, a mistake if we let something like this go through. Now, we were fortunate enough to have the town of Camp Verde, Beaver Creek, Jerome all vote unanimously to have a resolution for no build. And so what I'm here tonight to ask you or implore you to do is to please consider a vote toward a resolution for no build, even if it's only until the environmental studies and NEPA studies are complete.
Thank you, Dr. Brady. You're out of time, my friend.
Okay. Thank you for affording me the opportunity to speak.
Appreciate it. Next is Mr. Zach Wolf. And our clerk is resetting the terrible timer that you'll hear when
I'll try to keep
your 5 minutes is up.
Thank you, Mayor and Council, for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. My name is Zach Wolf. I'm a lifelong Verde Valley resident, member of Camp Verde, local business owner. And I actually am here to talk trash tonight, and it's trash concerning the actions of Yavapai County with what they've done with the Verde Connect project. And I'm going to just reiterate a few of the things and go over a few of the points that Dr. Rick Brady covered there, and he's exactly right on a lot of things. This project is not only bad for Camp Verde, it's bad for the entire Verde Valley and the Verde Valley community as a whole. And what we're facing here is a project that was originally conceived in 1999. 20 years later, we're no closer to needing it. Yavapai County took it upon themselves with 39 days left in the grant cycle to apply for a grant to build a road through Yavapai Apache Nation that Yavapai Apache Nation didn't want. Now being awarded the grant, they are scrambling to try to figure out what to do with it. And a road that originally was perceived to cost $29.3 million with $25 million of it funded has become a road that's going to cost us tens of millions of dollars, and Yavapai County's own traffic modeling data proves that it will not accomplish anything. The problems we have today are the same problems we have in 2025. They're the same problems we have in 2045. It's important to understand that we have greater and more cost-effective ways to control traffic in this area, and this isn't it. And I would ask you to just please stay on top of this. Be aware of it. The information's out there. Verde Connect is releasing a lot of their information on their website. It does not have the public support it has. The grant application claims it had support of every community in the Verde Valley, Cottonwood included. It had the support of the town of Camp Verde, which unanimously opposed it at this point until further studies are done, and they are in no hurry to change their mind. The town of Jerome has voted to oppose it, and Beaver Creek community is opposed to it. This is, it's just not right for us. It's not what we need. And for a county that's already over $50 million in debt to try to build a road that's going to cost at least as much as 260 has at this point. I mean, 60 to 70 million is not unreasonable. Far more than that is not unreasonable. And when they try to tell us what a great road Highway 260 to Cornville will be, that's really a non-starter, because due to the grant, the way it's written, the only road they can build is a road through Middle Verde. Anything from 260 to Cornville will be a final phase of this project, and that might not happen for years if it happens at all. So please just keep aware of it and do what's best for your community and do what's best for the Verde Valley community, and be thoughtful in your actions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf. Okay, we have one other person who filled out a form tonight and didn't put your name down, but it's to speak about intersection of Willard and Maine, I believe. Okay. Good evening.
My apologies.
No worries.
My name's Linda Page. I live on Mingus, so I come around the circle and come down to Main Street on Willard. And I do it quite often because I come into Old Town. We have a greater influx of tourists right now So what I noticed sitting there with about 4 or 5 cars in front of me at the stop sign is the children coming home from school. They're trying to cross Main Street, and there's all this traffic, which is why I've got so many cars in front of me all the time. So I didn't know who to go to. I came to you guys. I wanted someone to be aware, I wanted you all to be aware of what goes on at that intersection. There's a lot of buildup on Willard, and the traffic does not stop. And the children have to wait for all the traffic on Main Street. And because we have such an influx, this is getting worse. And with school starting again, I'm concerned. That's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, you came to the right place, so thank you for sharing your concerns.
Thank you.
All right.
Mayor, I'm not allowed to comment other than to respond that we'll look into that.
Okay. Anyone else here tonight to speak to the council?
Can we just clarify, we're questioning, you're talking about right here by Bing's, correct? By the parks, by the Lion Park?
Little park, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, okay, very good. Okay, there's no one else here to speak to the council during call of the public. We move on to approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of August 6, 2019, and the work session of August 13, 2019. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve.
Second?
Okay, Mayor made the motion, Councilmember Nairn seconded it. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, minutes are approved. We'll go into unfinished business. We have just one item under unfinished business tonight. It's ordinance number 666, amending the city's zoning ordinance by amending section 305, code review, B, application for code review, 5, second and final reading. Evening, Mr. Ellis.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Council. Scott Ellis with Community Development. Ordinance number 666. Sorry, we couldn't get a better number for this one. It's just basically a correction for our existing zoning ordinance, which is outdated with the code review construction drawing requirements all the way back to 2003. We're obviously now on the 2018 codes. So this just takes that out and tells people we're on the existing codes, so we don't have to update this every time they change. There's been no changes since the first reading and the original presentation.
All right. Any questions from council?
This is the second reading.
Second, yes, this is the second reading.
Yep. All right. Anybody from the public would like to address the council on this issue? We went over it once before. It's kind of boring, but you're welcome to comment on it. No? Okay.
I move to approve ordinance number 666.
Second?
Okay, Vice Mayor made the motion, Councilmember Althouse?
That's still my
Seconded?
name.
Okay, just checking. Couldn't read your placard. All in roll call vote, please.
Supposed to know my name, Mayor.
I know.
Councilmember Althouse.
Yes.
Councilmember Howdigy.
Yes.
Councilmember Matthews.
Here, yes, sorry.
Councilmember Nairn.
Yes.
Catching it.
Vice Mayor Henry.
Yes.
Mayor Linsky.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, very good. All right. Consent agenda is up next. We have 12 items on the consent agenda tonight. I'll read them all out. These following items are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the council and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. So I'll read these items out. If there's anyone in the public that would like to have an item pulled, please raise your hand, and same with the council. Item 1, resolution number 3019, approving an intergovernmental agreement with the Yavapai County Flood Control District for funding for various flood control projects for fiscal year 2019-2020. Item 2, professional services agreement with Carollo Engineers, Inc. for comprehensive assessment of the city's utility department. Item 3, extension of contract time for the design phase of the lift station number 4 rehabilitation project. Item 4, extension of time for completion of the Railroad Wash and Silver Springs Gulch floodplain study project by Westwood Consultants, Inc., DBA Slater Hannafin Group. Item 5, Fair Festival liquor license application submitted by Maynard Keenan, applicant for Merkin Vineyards for an event scheduled for September 14, 2019 at the Muse Gallery located at 735 North Main Street. Item 6, Fair Festival liquor license application submitted by Sam Pillsbury, applicant for Pillsbury Wine Company for an event scheduled on September 14, 2019 at the Muse Gallery located at 735 North Main Street. Item 7, application for a Fair Festival liquor license application submitted by John Rachel, owner of Divine's Vineyard for an event scheduled for September 14, 2019 at the Muse Gallery located at 725 North Main Street. Special event liquor license application submitted by Rudy Rodriguez, applicant for the City of Cottonwood for the Walking on Maine event scheduled for November 9, 2019 in Old Town. Item 9, application for extension of premises patio liquor license permit submitted by Tamara Morgan for that brewery located at 300 East Cherry Street, Building B, for an event scheduled for September 21, 2019. Item 10, special event liquor license application submitted by Mitch Levy, applicant for the Old Town Association for the Bootlegger Bash event scheduled for September 21, 2019 in Old Town. And no surprise, another special event liquor license application submitted by Christian Oliva Del Rio, applicant for the Cottonwood Chamber of Commerce for a chamber mixer scheduled for September 19, 2019 at the Society of St. Vincent de Paul Thrift Store located at 825 West Mingus Avenue. And last but not least, agreement with Events Plus, Inc. for the sale, distribution, and procurement of alcohol for the Thunder Valley Rally event. Must be coming into the season, I think.
Happy times.
Yes. We'll see an uptick in sales tax, I think. Yep. Okay, so, council?
Move to approve the consent agenda?
Second?
Okay, Councilmember Althouse made the motion, Councilmember Matthews seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, consent agenda is approved. And we move on to new business. Item 1 is interview of applicants for an opening on the city's Park and Recreation Commission. Evening.
Good evening,
Yes.
Mayor.
I'm sorry, did you, ma'am?
Do you need to do something for that part? Because I'm not really sure. I'm here for the interview of the applicants for the opening on the city's Park and Recreation.
You came to the right place. So in just a second,
No, they told me to go to the recreation center, so I'm sorry I'm late, but.
well, we're glad you're here. So yeah, we'll get to you in just a second. We're on that agenda item right now, so yeah.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm Amanda Wilbur, the HR Director. Due to the expiring term of John Crosland, we have one 3-year term available on the Parks and Recreation Commission. We advertised the position. We received 3 applicants for it. The 3 applications were received from Deborah Atkinson, Amber Baum, and Helene Carrot. We had the applications reviewed by the Blind Review Committee, and they now need to be interviewed by council. All 3 of the applicants meet the minimum qualifications for this position, and unfortunately, one of the applicants informed me this afternoon that she had a work emergency, so we'll have to push her interview until the next meeting, so I will line that up. But the other 2 applicants, Deborah Atkinson and Helene Carrot, are here for the interview. So without further ado, feel free to bring each of them up for their interview.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. And Councilmember Matthews?
Will not be participating.
Okay.
I'm on the blind matrix that is already voted.
Very good. Okay. Okay, so Ms. Wilbur did a good job laying this out, but just so everyone's aware, we're not going to be making a decision tonight on who the appointees are, but we're going to interview those in public. So we'll start off in the order that we received them in our packet, and that would be Deborah Atkinson. First up. So you're right on time. See, just like I said. So good evening. Thanks for being here. Thanks especially for your application. We appreciate it. So we're going to ask you just 3 simple questions, and we'll start off. So again, thank you.
All right.
First question. Please tell us why you wish to serve on the Parks and Rec Commission.
Well, I feel like my experience and would help in some capacity for the field. I don't know exactly what's going to be viewed upon, or what they're going to experience, but I mean, I've been to school, I've actually done the work, so it's kind of like just be open. I was only told that you were going to be voting on different things that come up. So I thought that I might qualify for that. I enjoy that kind of thing, so I thought it would be right up my alley. And I'm retired, so I figured that would be pretty optimal.
Great. You have the time to serve. Good.
Well, I've been serving, I'm retired military, so I've been serving my whole entire life. So if this is just an extension, but I feel called and to keep doing something that's purposeful, and I just felt like this was perfect for what I wanted to do.
Excellent. Okay, next question is, what are your specific qualifications for the Parks and Rec Commission?
Well, I've gone to college. I was in the top of my class for Parks and Recreation. I've also worked 10 years in the military on that side of it, volunteer. I've also worked in a capacity of actual full-time Parks and Recreation, both as an assistant manager for Alzheimer's and dementia patients as well as elderly. I've also worked with children, so I've kind of had a little bit of all of it.
Great. And then last question, what do you hope to accomplish during your appointment?
Hopefully I can make a difference, you know, with this experience that I've had, and that I can lend something to it and learn something in the process.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us?
No, I think I asked all the questions to the young lady when I first was interested.
Great. Can I just ask you, how did you hear about the position, the opening?
In the paper.
In the
I was
paper,
reading
okay.
the paper, and I saw an ad for it, and I thought, well, that's perfectly for what, because I've been looking for something to do volunteer-wise, and it was like right kind of what I do already, and I've been doing it for most of my life. So I thought this would be, you know, perfect to give back in a way that's, you know, not requiring pay or anything like that.
Great. Good. So she did go over the pay with you then?
I think I got it pretty clear.
Very good. Well, thanks for
I'd
being...
be surprised.
Yeah. Thanks for coming in tonight, and thanks for your application. I appreciate
All right,
it.
thank you.
Okay, up next we have Helene Karat. I hope I pronounced your name correct. Okay, great. Thanks for being here. Thanks for your application, too.
Anytime.
Same simple 3 questions. So
Okay.
off the top, please tell us why you wish to serve on the Parks and Rec Commission.
So as an employer, the hardest thing is for us to find employees. Most of them won't take a drug test, the other half can't pass. Parks and Rec is kind of a way to get the kids involved before it becomes an issue. And if we keep them involved, then it helps us out, it helps out the rest of the community. Kids are employable, then they spend money, and it helps all the way around.
Okay. And what are your specific qualifications to serve on the Parks and Recreation Commission?
So I'm sure a lot of you know I had a coffee shop. I don't know if any of you know why that got opened in the first place. So I had some kids from high school that were working for me, and we were there, I'll just say after hours on a Friday night. And I was like, you know, I want to go home. You know, it's Friday night, let's go. And they're like, well, there's nowhere for us to go. Like, we're going to go home and go to sleep. There's nothing here. None of the other businesses open their doors to them. And when I was looking for a spot to put it, a lot of places wouldn't even give me a run application because they didn't want the kids hanging out there. So that was how the coffee shop got started. It closed not because of the kids, but because of issues with adults. But it is what it is. Growing up, I worked at a county facility that had a bunch of programs that were run by both the county and the town come in. After I left there, worked for another facility where I got to organize the programs going through the town. So that was interesting. did search and rescue for a little while through the county, so familiar with the trail system, and one of the 3% that actually use the facilities twice a day. If any of you have ever had a blue healer.
All right. Anything else to add to that question?
I think that was it.
No? Okay. And then last question is, what do you hope to accomplish during your appointment?
So you have a lot of facilities that are awesome. Some of them get used quite a bit, and there's some that, like the skate park, gets used every night when I walk by. There's a skating ring next to it that I've never seen anybody in the 5 years I've been up here. And then if you look online where people are hoping that other people come in and, well, somebody should open this, somebody should open that. You have the facility to use. It's just a question of getting it going and maybe some marketing and to get the word out. A lot of people think that the city doesn't care about the kids. We don't do anything for them. I don't think that's true. I think there's a gap that needs to be bridged there because there's plenty of stuff for them to do. It just, whoever needs to hear it isn't getting it.
Okay. And then, do you have any questions for us?
No.
No?
I'm good.
Okay. Well, thank you for your application, your commitment. Okay, and so then we'll interview Amber Baum next time she's able to come in? Okay, great.
Next council meeting.
Okay, excellent. Well, thanks to you both for applying. We really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Do we pass these two down to Marianne, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Let me just... Okay. Here, thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is resolution numbers 3021, 3022, and 3023, appointing members to the Library Advisory Board. Hello.
Hello again. We have 3 terms that just expired on the Library Advisory Board. The openings were advertised, and we received 4 applications. They were received by Judy Paulus, Joseph Stack, John O'Neill, and Paula Thompson. So we reviewed the applications through the blind review committee, and then one applicant decided to drop out. So now we're left with 3 qualified applicants for the 3 available positions. So none of our applicants are here tonight because they no longer need to be interviewed. And all 3 of these applicants meet the criteria for these positions. So we have 2 openings for members outside the city and 1 inside the city.
Okay.
And those 3 applicants filled that void. So staff's recommendation is to appoint all 3 of those members to the open 3 seats.
Okay. Any discussion from council?
No? Thank you.
Okay. Just extend our appreciation to them all for applying and reapplying in some cases.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
To entertain a motion, please. Okay. So I move to approve resolution number 3021, appointing Paula Thompson, a member of the city's Library Advisory Board. And I move to approve resolution number 3022, appointing John O'Neill, a member of the city's Library Advisory Board. And I move to approve resolution number 3023, appointing Judy Paulus, a member of the city's Library Advisory Board.
Second.
Okay, Councilmember Matthews made the motion, Councilmember Nairn seconded it. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Althouse.
Yes.
Councilmember Howdige.
Yes.
Councilmember Matthews.
Yes.
Councilmember Nairn.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Henry.
Yes.
Mayor Linsky.
Yes. Thank you.
You want me to read the rest of this, Mayor?
And Mayor, we had another resolution slip by us on the consent agenda because the line saying it was a resolution was on the bottom of one page, and then we just went quickly to the second page, so if we could have the clerk.
I thought we weren't reading resolutions on the consent agenda anymore. Are we still doing that?
I'm sorry.
Is it required? Because we certainly could jump back. Okay.
No,
That's okay. We will if we have to.
It was an IGA, it's a pretty big deal. I just want to make sure we covered it.
Okay. Should we go ahead and read it? Just to, no, okay. Don't foul me up because I'm easily confused tonight. All right, so then if we could read the resolutions 3021, 3022, and 3023 by title only.
Resolution number 3021, a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Cottonwood, Arizona, appointing Paula Thompson, a member of the Library Advisory Board of the city of Cottonwood, and establishing her term of office. Resolution number 3022, a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Cottonwood, Arizona, appointing John O'Neill, a member of the Library Advisory Board of the city of Cottonwood, and establishing his term of office. Resolution number 3023, a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Cottonwood, Arizona, appointing Judy Paulus, a member of the Library Advisory Board of the city of Cottonwood, and establishing her term of office. Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Next item 3 is resolution number 3024, approving an agreement with NACOG for subsidized transportation services for low-income passengers. Evening.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. Bruce Morrow, Cottonwood Area Transit Manager. This is an annual agreement that we have with NACOG to subsidize our low-income transportation system for those that have qualify under NACOG's low-income standards. We've done this every year, and we've always spent every bit of money they had in it. Actually, we've actually spent more. We've had a couple of years where they had addenda to add money to it. This year, they gave us an extra $5,000 for the program, so we're now at a little over $27,000 for this program. That should be enough to cover it for the year, unless we have more people get on the program. But for right now, that's the extent of it.
Okay. All right. Any questions from council on this?
No questions. This is a good program, and I'm glad that we have the funds.
It helps a lot of people get on the bus and get to places that they need to get to.
Well, it's a great transit program in general. I'm pleased that we have it. All right.
Okay, I move to approve resolution number 3024, approving an agreement with NACOG for the provision of subsidized transportation services to low-income individuals for fiscal year 2020.
Second.
Okay, Councilmember Naren made the motion, Vice Mayor seconded it. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Althouse?
Yes.
Councilmember Haudegi?
Yes.
Councilmember Matthews?
Yes.
Councilmember Naren?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Henry?
Yes.
Mayor Linsky?
Yes. Please, motion
Motion carried.
carries. Please read resolution number 3024 by title only.
Resolution number 3024, a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Cottonwood, Yavapai County, Arizona, approving an agreement with the Northern Arizona Council of Governments for the use of social services block grant funds for the Cottonwood area transit system. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, last item on the agenda is request for an additional field supervisor position for the Cottonwood area transportation system.
Mr. Mayor, Council, this comes about due to a request from the city of Sedona to extend the Lynx hours to something past 10 o'clock. The reason being, they have a number of employees that live here in Cottonwood, and they can get to work because the bus takes them there. Getting home is a big issue. So they requested, along with the Sedona Lodging Council, the Business Council, and the Chamber of Commerce, and several individual businesses requested that we extend the hours of Lynx. To do this, that requires a number of things. It will require us to extend some hours of some of our drivers. It will also need to have another supervisor on. I personally don't want to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning to monitor this whole thing. My other supervisors get in at 4 o'clock in the morning to open up. Staying up till midnight is not in their wheelhouse. So the idea is to have another supervisor to bridge the gap between the day shift and the night shift, and to be on call should anything happen. We have a history of buses breaking down, and it gets real touchy at that time of night when there's nobody around to answer that call. So we are asking that this position be authorized. It was originally in the budget, got cut, and now we need it back. So that's the request. The city of Sedona, for their part, is going to pay for the route system, the service itself, plus the shuttle that we'll be adding here in Cottonwood to take people home once they get back from Sedona. The supervisor position, they will pay 80% of the local cost for that position, which is a big hunk for them to take on. So they're paying the entire cost of the extra service plus 80% of the supervisor's salary.
But to be clear, we're extending hours too in Cottonwood to make sure those folks can get where they need.
We will have what we're calling the Cottonwood Connect. It's a single shuttle bus that will be taking people from the library to primarily their houses or a bus stop closest to their house. We're not going to be picking people up at that point in time anywhere else but at the library.
Right.
So it's just there to get people home from Sedona.
Right. Well, I think it's such a great needed program here in the Verde Valley, especially as a commuter between Sedona and Cottonwood. So anything we can do to help get people to work.
I just had a clarification, Mr. Moore, if you don't mind, because the packet says that the city was going to fund the 20% that wasn't covered by ADOT, but now it sounds as though they're only covering 80% of the 20% that's not covered. Is that correct?
The way it works is ADOT will cover 80% of the salary, and then there's 20% left over, so they're going to be covering 80% of the 20%,
Okay.
which is kind of confusing, but it all works out.
And then where is the remaining amount coming from?
Excuse me?
If it was cut from the budget, where are the additional funds coming from?
Originally, we had put in for a safety and security supervisor. I never took the funds out of the ADOT budget. While they might have gotten taken out of the city budget, they were never taken out of the ADOT budget. And ADOT has already allocated the money for that. So that money is there in the ADOT budget.
So I think for clarification then, so we're getting additional money from ADOT now for this position?
Well, it's money that was already allocated by ADOT for this position, even though the city took it out.
Okay, so it was designated specifically for this position, it couldn't be used for anything else in the transportation system?
No.
Okay.
No.
So getting to the heart of your question probably is how much money are we going to have to shell out as a city to make this happen?
That's exactly it. Thank you.
And I would have to defer, because I'm not quite sure how much the salary actually turns out to be on a yearly basis.
I think we're getting a little confused here. We're actually, Sedona's covering all the costs above and beyond what the grant will fund. That was our agreement with them, that the city, because they're the ones who asked for the extension of services, they would the grant will cover their portion of it, and then from there, Sedona takes over the rest of the costs.
That's not what was said. He just said they're covering 80% of the 20% that's not covered. So which is it? What's in the packet or what was just said?
How much?
I don't remember.
My understanding.
Okay, this is a problem if we don't know. I consider that to be a problem.
Okay, my understanding was that Sedona was going to cover 100% of whatever the agreement, of 100% of the.
Any additional services
Right.
that we provide to give them more trips back and forth to Sedona. They have agreed to.
Can we get you in front of the mic so we
Yes.
can pick up?
They have agreed to cover any additional services that we provide for them to go back and forth to Sedona and the cost of those services, that whether ADOT covered any portion of it or not. So ADOT is going to cover 80% of it through the grant.
Okay.
And they're going to cover the other 20%. It wasn't in the budget originally, so that's why we're asking you for the position.
So this is one position. What about, are we adding driver's hours to this?
We had
for this?
already added in 2 additional full-time in the budget, during the budget process, and 2 part-time positions to cover the additional services back and forth. We just kind of missed the field supervisor part.
And I appreciate the clarification. Thank you. Do we have, is this included in an IGA with Sedona as far as the payment source and term and all of the specifics?
Yes, it is
The
included.
mechanism is this.
Yes.
we haven't reduced this maybe to email, but we don't have this in writing in a formal agreement yet.
Is that the direction it's going next?
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, absolutely. $0 from the city of Cottonwood to fund the after-hours transportation system. Sedona's asked for this, their business community has asked for this. We provide the service, we're extending the services, but our commitment was $0. So we will not be hiring anybody until it is fully funded in writing.
Okay.
And then next year?
It'll be in the budget.
Any expectation?
Still not funded by us, but the problem we have is, the reason we're here today is because we need authorization. So really what we're asking for is authorization more than the resources.
Okay. Is that clear for everyone? Any other questions?
We're not paying for it now, we're not paying for it later.
Correct. If that changes, if I am incorrect, we will not move forward until I come back to council to clarify and get permission.
Okay, thank you.
I think that clears it up for me, too.
Okay, great. Then I'll go ahead and move to add a new transit field supervisor position at range 16 to the city's transportation department.
Second.
Okay, Mayor made the motion, Councilmember Althouse seconded it. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Althouse?
Yes.
Councilmember Howdigy?
Yes.
Councilmember Matthews?
Yes.
Councilmember Naren?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Henry?
Yes.
Mayor Linsky?
Yes. Okay, motion's approved. Next is claims and adjustments.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Thank you.
I move to pay the claims and adjustments.
Second?
Okay, Vice Mayor made the motion, Councilmember Matthews seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, you're both looking at me kind of funny.
Well, I before you, because you guys are quick to dismiss, for the announcements, September, we should have done it at the first of the council meeting, so I apologize. September 11th, you are hosting a boards and commissions meeting, and I just wanted the whole council to be aware that our attorney here is going to cover open meeting laws. You're going to talk to them briefly about their service and thank them. But that is September 11th. All boards and commission members are invited at the Riverfront plant.
Thank you.
Steve bringing pizza?
No.
There will be food.
Oh, great. All right. Okay.
Was that Amanda? I didn't.
Yes.
Yes, it
Yeah.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, Aldhouse made the motion. Vice Mayor seconded it. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you.